One of you wants to call in and talk about the hype around John Mateer. Take a listen.
What's up, JD? Kyle from Oklahoma. I'm a real college football sicko. Man, I watch the hard count all the time. Love what you're doing over there. Keep it going, man. Keep it up. I just had time I want to talk about, pick your brain about, man, because we're getting a lot of hype for John Mateer in Oklahoma right now from the national media. And, as a 28-year-old living in Oklahoma, we've had that my whole life, except for, in the last 4 years maybe, since Lincoln Riley exited. So I was just wondering, do you think that John Mateer can actually live up to the expectations that the national media and all the Oklahoma hype has given so far? Because I don't even know what that looks like if he is to do that,
Appreciate you calling in and appreciate your kind words, brother. Glad to have you part of the show. Glad to have you watching. The John Mateer hype, it has been intense. And we have absolutely played our part in that because I think he's going to be freaking awesome. I understand it's a lot of hype. I do. And I understand, too, it's even more hype to kind of go along with it that it's Oklahoma. Because it's Kyler, it's Baker, Jalen Hurts, Sam Bradford, Landry. Like, there's a lot of names in Oklahoma history that have played quarterback at a high level, especially recently. So I understand it's intense. But I also think that this is the most reliable hype of any first-year starting quarterback at Oklahoma of any of those guys. I mean, Baker Mayfield, when he came over from Texas Tech, his first year as a starting quarterback, he came over from Tech with 12 touchdowns and 9 picks his 1 year out in Lubbock. I understand it wasn't a full year, but roll with me. Jalen Hurts, his best year at Alabama, 23 touchdowns and 9 picks. It was the SEC, but that production doesn't get me super fired up. Maybe you say it's Kyler Murray as the most reliable first-year starter when it comes to hype because he was just all everything as a high schooler and did some good things at A&M. He flashed, but the production, it wasn't like he lit it up. You know who I think is actually the most like when it comes to first-year starters at Oklahoma? Dylan Gabriel. Situationally, great production at a lower level in college football coming over from UCF. Same offensive coordinator in Jeff Lebby. It's kind of John Mateer, is it not? But even Dylan Gabriel's production was not as much, or I don't think as flashy, as what John Mateer did at Washington State. Dude ran for almost 900 yards, accounted for 44 touchdowns total. What he did last year, I think is reliable because you actually saw it happen. Now, does it translate at that level to the SEC? Remains to be seen. But I do think it's fair to trust your eyes with what you actually saw happen on the football field. Or you're not projecting, well, he was this as a recruit, well, he's this many stars. You're not having that conversation. You were having it a year ago with Jackson Arnold, the tools and all that. We're not having a tools discussion with John Mateer. We're having a true production conversation, which I think is a much more comfortable, much more stable place to be, especially under your same offensive coordinator and Ben Arbuckle. Now, how you gauge him living up to the hype, I think all depends on how much Kool-Aid you bought at your local Oklahoma gas station. Because we on this show have been very high on John Mateer. We have projected him, projection being a key word here, to be a top 3 quarterback in the SEC, behind Garrett Nussmeier, behind Lenora Sellers. Now, if you think he's going to be the best quarterback in the SEC, period, that changes the discussion. But for us, if he's a top 3 quarterback in the SEC, football's a team sport, but that to me at least makes you a team on the back of John Mateer able to improve from what last year was. Right around 7 wins. Okay, right? So that's exclusively of John Mateer. How much around John Mateer is dialed up? The defense, how stable is that? Skill players, how healthy can we stay? How good is Jaden Ott translating over from the Calgary out to Norman, Oklahoma? How stable are the other factors? If those things are at a solid place, I think Oklahoma, with a top 3 SEC John Mateer, you can have that backdoor conversation around, hey, are we a backdoor playoff team? Because the schedule is brutal. I feel the same way around Oklahoma as I do Florida. 9-3 with that Hunger Games from September through November, you have a real case, if it's the right looking 9-3, to be a college football playoff kind of team. Now, if you think he's going to be the best in the SEC, I think Oklahoma's a playoff team. Now, again, that's your take. We're not saying that. I think he's top 3, but if you think he's the best in the SEC or a top-tier quarterback in America, then you can really talk about being a college football playoff team. Because at that point, John Mateer's winning games by himself against the best competition in the sport. So John Mateer, I get the hype. I understand it's nerve-wracking trust again, but this is a different conversation than I think you've had since Dylan Gabriel, even before that when it comes to who's going to be the guy out there in Norman. And you got a good one there in John Mateer. Excited to watch it.